you done fucked up, Red Hot Chili Pepper. You never mess with Okuyasu, especially when he's got some fucking revenge to serve. And I absolutely loved every scene with Okuyasu in this episode, because that is exactly what you deserve. It's like, and the guy don't give a fuck, and just like, you can tell, like, how many times did this guy, especially in this episode, break space-time when he was using the hand. Like, you can clearly hear every time when that sound goes off is the same sound that, like, Dio makes when he does his shit. It's like, no, you clearly know that's something not supposed to happen in the world when he does that, and he's just doing it left and right, and I'm like, this is how badass this motherfucker, that he can fly and shit with it. It's like that. This is how fucking badass he is. Episode start, we finally get to see Josuke. He's enjoying himself on an N64. Looks like he's playing Gradius or something, although that was pretty sure that wasn't on the N64 on there. But it's like, you get to clearly see that thing's a fucking N64. It's got the cartridge and everything. Like, he should have been playing some good games on there. Should have been playing GoldenEye. You should have been playing Banjo-Kazooie. You know, I'm just saying, man. Like, although I grew up with a PlayStation 1 in my time, I'm pretty sure they came out around about the same time. Although, like, I was like fucking like 4 or 5 so I don't really remember most of their shit. But it's like there, and oh, by the way, Red Hot Chili Pepper just decides to come and go, hello. It's like, oh shit, and he's like there saying, alright then, shit's gonna go down, I need to test you, like, and all that, seeing like if I can be stronger, like, see if my Red Hot Chili Pepper, and it's like, you underestimated me, and we can clearly see that how stronger Josuke's been getting throughout the series, and he just fucking punches the dog shit out of this guy. And although he does get a couple of, you know, little hits here and there on there, and Josuke's like, we'll leave that there, going with this stuff, and it's just like, even with that, it's just like, alright, bye, and I'm like, wait, we're gonna end it just there, and Josuke decides, alright, we're gonna get everyone here, Okuyasu with his bike like that, I'm saying his styling and profile, and like Koichi and Jotaro, you know, everyone's there, and it's like, we'll explain that, and just how Okuyasu hears about, like, he appeared, he starts snapping, he's like, why didn't you tell me straight away, you know I want to kill that fucking, he's like, and Jotaro just said, look, we came here because we make sure he hasn't got any electricity around here, that he can pull any shit, that's why we got here, plus we've also got some information as well. We know how to find the stand user himself, which, like, you know, we can use by using Purple Hermit, and it's like we can finally use it by finding out with Joseph Joestar being, like, you know, Josuke's father, and it's just like Red Hot Chili Pepper just comes out the fucking bike's battery. It's like, oh, thanks, see you later, fuckers, I'm gonna go and kill Joseph right now, see ya. It's like, I think, like, this is one question I've got to add about it. Like, I feel like this might be a little bit of a plot hole in the series. I'm not too sure on all that, because I remember it being, like, a bit, like, one of the starting things of, like, part 2, like, with Battle Tendency. Isn't, like, with the Ripple, can't you, like, make yourself a lot more younger? That's why, like, you saw, like, with Zeppeli and all that, like, he was super young, like, he kind of looked like a middle-aged man in, like, part 1, although, like, when you got to see him, he was, like, super old, and the same thing can be said with, like, a bunch of the people in, like, part 2 and all that. It's like, wasn't that one of the reasons that, like, I don't know, like, because also you got to see, like, Joseph and all that, he was getting old at that, and he was fucking super buff and, like, beefy at that point, but it's like, I don't know, I just always thought a little bit weird, like this is how, like, Joseph is, like, kind of looks like this really scrawny old man now, like that. That's, like, you know, oh, he's got dentures and all that, see, like, he's lost a couple kidney stones, his cataracts is going. It's like, I don't know, wasn't that the Ripple source that I saw there? I'm pretty sure it's explained at some point, and they're just like, fuck it, because at that point, it's like, the Ripple at that point was just pretty much fucking, you know, like, irrelevant at that point. It's like, just forget about it, stand powers, woo! Try to escape, and just Okuyasu just keeps hitting the fucking hand space right tip. It's like you're breaking space time to catch up with him. Like, the world has to keep fixing itself on doing this shit as he keeps fucking swiping his way to get closer to him. It swipes the bike, makes sure that he can get out of there, and the only place he can get is that battery, and he's like, just the fight is just like, I love that. And it's just like, like, just Okuyasu's faces throughout the entire bit, like he's gonna beat the shit out, and he fucking just beats the dog shit out of Red Hot Chili Pepper, fucking stomping on him like that, beating the shit out of him like that, and he's just like, I'll let you live if you tell me your address and phone number. And like, he's like, wow, you're being really cool about this and all that. It's like, I thought you wanted to rip me apart, and just Okuyasu starts like, oh, I want to scrape you, like, I want to fucking beat you to death right now, and just honestly, like, the whole thing is like, oh, like, you always come around with it's like, oh, you know, so Okuyasu's gonna do something, but you can't help, like, the bastard like that. I feel like this episode really shows, like, why I like it so much, because, like, he has his own code of honor, and even when he was saying, like, my brother was an evil bastard, he was gonna die sometime and all that, but regardless of what and all that, I want to exact revenge. He was my brother at the end of the day. It's like, you know, family's family, and it's just like, that I really respected from it. It's like, you know, he was a fucked up person, but it's like, at the end of the day, he did not, like, in that kind of way, that was a fucked up way to go, and I am gonna get revenge from his, I'm gonna beat the dog shit, and it's just like, unfortunately, Okuyasu played into his hands when he was like, oh, come on, man, I might be planning something, I might plan on ripping, like Jotaro's head off when he comes out here, maybe I'm falsing like that, and he's like, just at the end, he's like, I fuck it, I don't care if I'm right or wrong at the end. Goes and slashes him like that, gets all the chest like that. Unfortunately, though, he does hit, like, these, like, massive electric power lines there. He did manage to notice, and he's just, like, dragging Okuyasu in there, and just how Josuke and Jotaro, like, oh, I guess he got dragged in. It's just, like, they start walking off. It's like, oh, yeah, as his fucking hand gets cut off, like, it was like, ooh, and able to use that to bring him out of there, and it's like, yeah, that's how fucking crazy, like, healing stuff is. It's like, you just bring the original body back to that point. It's like, yeah, you just went for electricity, and that's, like, how you just got fucked. I just, like, how Red Hot Chili Peppers, like, what the fuck? As it just, like, keeps holding him. It's like, what the fuck? It just went, and it's just like, this is bullshit. Like, he just going there. So it's like, now they've got that, and now they've got to run quickly to go and get there, because Joseph has just now arrived, and I'm sure a lot of people are really curious about that. And we can kind of get onto the second bit of news, which I was going to do a separate video about it, but I guess, you know, since we're now here, we can actually talk about that. JoJo Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable is going to be having 39 episodes instead of, like, what exactly, like, you know, what we got with Stardust Crusaders, where I had 25, they had a break, and then came back for the other 25. A lot of people seem quite upset about this, saying like, oh, you know, if I remember, this was kind of leaked out a very long time ago, but I think, like, we didn't have a full, like, confirmation on it. So basically what that means is that we're going to be having 3 cores. We're now about to finish the first core of the season, then the second one's going to be happening, and then the third, and also that, like, in July we're going to be getting the second opening, which, you know, I'm really looking forward to. Like, I'm kind of glad they changed, like, crazy, noisy, bizarre town, like, back to normal. Like, they didn't have the techno one. I think, like, they kind of got a mixed response on it, because I was like, I'm not really too sure on this opening. And, like, I don't really like the techno version of it, but, like, I think it's just a lot more people are a little bit upset and a little bit more weirded out, like, well, why is this getting 39 when, like, this is longer? I had to remind you, this is slightly longer than Stardust Crusaders, and as well, like, adding to the point, it's like, why is it getting 39 episodes then if it's, like, you know, it's longer? The thing is, though, is, like, especially with Stardust and all that, Stardust has a lot more fighting in it, and it has a lot more just, like, going into action scenes, like, into it. Whereas, like, when you come into, like, especially Diamond's Unbreakable, a lot of it is dialogue. A heavy amount of it and all that can be easily done, like, just easily for, like, throughout the entirety. I think, like, Diamond's Unbreakable, like, it ran for, like, a couple of years. I think it was, like, 92 to, like, 95, and it's, like, it was, like, I believe if you look in the actual volumes there, it's, like, volume 29 to volume 46 of the series, and it's, like, I'm completely fine with this. Like I feel like I'm like the one of people say if they do it, if they add everything in there, I'm completely fine, and I think they can, because, like, there's so much really goofy, awesome shit in there. And then after that, it's like, I have no idea about, like, you know, part 5. I think part 5 is a little bit shorter than that, but we'll have to wait and see. And then I think, like, part 6 and, like, part 7 is where it goes into the monthlies. Like, I know 7's monthly, and obviously 8's monthly. I think 6 somewhere goes monthly, then weekly. Like, that's the stuff where I'm not too sure on. But it's like, I don't know, like, I'm not upset about it, especially, like, I guess, like, a lot of people are thinking, like, oh, no, it's gonna be bullshit, but it's like, you know, like, we clearly see David Production knows what they're doing with, like, JoJo and all that, although a lot of people say they didn't like how rushed part 1 and part 2 was. I mean, I would have appreciated a little bit more extension, but then it's like, like, part 1's a really quick read and all that, if you consider it when you go from the original manga, and, like, I fucking love part 2, like, I love Battle Tendency all the way, I think that's great, and then part 3, they did a really good adaptation of it. Other than that, I loved this episode so much. Like, this is why I loved Okuyasu so much. He's such a great character, although he was really upset at the end. He's like, fuck, I fucked up, damn it, like, he was, like, kind of beating himself up, and it's like, no, we gotta get a move on, like that, and it's like, you know, like, that's what it's saying, like, you know, like, in the end of the day, although Okuyasu and all that, you beat that, like, even still, you had a really awesome fight. You did technically kind of beat him, but you did play into his hands at the end of the day, and it's like, if only, like, if he was just, like, cool-headed and, like, be a little bit smarter, kind of like how Jotaro or the others would, he'd be near unstoppable, because, like, he's such a, like, a really funny character, and then he's also absolute badass, and it just, I feel like this episode added it all in there, and it's just like, had those emotional moments with Okuyasu, and it's just like, this is like one of my favorite casts. I love this, like, cast of, like, people like that, because, like, you know, you got Koichu's kind of the straight man, you got Josuke, who's cool-headed, but then as well, he can lose his fucking cool, and then he's, like, a little bit of the gangster side with him, alongside with, like, Okuyasu. Like, that's what I like about them. Like that, I think they're a really good, like, trio from this group, and I really like that. And, like, I don't know about part 5, 6, and onward, but you know, there's some solid ones there, but overall, it's like, I still love this crew so much, and this is why Okuyasu is the fucking best. This is why he's the best wingman in JoJo. But that's all for me. You know me, guys, I love this. I'm always gonna, like, I feel like every JoJo episode to me is like 9 and 10s, because I know, like, I'm so biased with it, but I love JoJo so much. But that's all for me. So thank you much for watching. As always, you love JoJo as much as I do, especially part 4. You know what, hit that like, you know what, subscribe. That's all for me, so I'll see you guys next time.